There you have it right there. You got to look at all of the previous women's War Games matchups. There have been 7 so far. This is the 8th incarnation of a women's War Games, all featuring the wonderful, exceptional genius of the sky, Sky, who's been in each and every one on her typical loco trash can over her spot, jumping off the cage. It's the Flex Zone. War Game season is here. Survivor Series is here. Make sure you guys go ahead and if you like jump off the page and hit that thumbs up. Leave a subscribe if you're new here, and of course hit that bell and comment down below. Let me know who you think wins this match, as always. And we'll be live on Saturday, 7 p.m., 6 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Pacific. It's your boy God's favorite host. A women's War Games match. I mean, it's a lot that goes into this match that I have to say. And honestly, I can just sum it up in short and save you a lot of time by saying we don't need women's War Games. We're getting to a point, honestly, where we don't need War Games at all unless it calls for it. We're getting to a point where War Games, much like we saw with Vince McMahon, much like we saw in the previous regime, that every October, because it's Halloween and spooky season, we would have Hell in a Cell. But when you think about it, now every November, every Survivor Series is now War Games. And this match was kind of taken out of thin air and evaporated and formed from nothingness. Now, don't get me wrong, SKY, Rhea Ripley, Asuka and Kairi Sane, the women's tag team champions, the Kabuki Warriors. Those 2 teams in War Games, I got it. You want to throw Becky Lynch in there with AJ Lee, who are the 2 headliners of this match? I got it. But Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, along with Nia Jax and the recently called up Lash Legend, who Lash Legend has looked great so far, in my opinion. She has fit the bill of that powerhouse looking good next to Nia, and she throws some believable punches. She's improved a lot, but she doesn't need to be in War Games. Neither does Nia. They could have had them 2 feud with Alexa and Charlotte and fight over the tag titles. Nevertheless, it sucks because Lyra and Bailey, who have been feuding with the Kabuki Warriors and have been intertwined with the Rhea Io story, and Bailey being from California, not even to be on the card, it's blasphemy. It's egregious because it should have been them 2, Lyra and Bailey, with Rhea, Io, and AJ Lee taking on Becky, Asuka, Kairi, and the Judgment Day of Roxanne Perez, and Raquel Rodriguez. Those all teams who have some sort of intertwinement, and the history and the story would make sense. Actually, it would have probably made just as much, if not more, sense than the men's match. Now, I think the women's War Games match here, the babyface team will win. I think Team AJ Lee, Charlotte, Alexa, Rhea, Io will win. Rhea, Io already beat Asuka and Kairi. I don't know if that's done. They may challenge them for the tag title soon. Alexa and Charlotte lost the tag titles to them. AJ Lee and Becky Lynch have been embroiled in something since around WrestlePalooza, even though Becky Lynch did lose the Intercontinental Championship, which I, you know, kind of wish she kind of kept the title. She was the best, maybe, title holder in wrestling right now, men and women. So for her to lose that title, it kind of sucks, but you can see where they're going now. Where this match leads to, I don't know if they can stretch Becky and AJ out until Mania, but maybe they do it at Saturday night's main event. They have a couple of more weeks to build it up. That would be a nice match on the marquee with John Cena's final match, and if you want to do NXT showcases. But I think the babyface team wins. Team AJ Lee defeats Team Becky Lynch. Now, who takes the pin? I don't know. Could it be Lash Legend? Could it be Nia? Could it be Becky even? I, there are a lot of ways they can go. There could be Kairi. I think they could have any of one of those women be pinned, and I wouldn't put any of it past them. Now, like I said, we'll get our typical spots. Everyone will come to the ring with their weapons and plunder. And another gripe I have with War Games, we just had Blood and Guts in AEW. We have War Games here. We had a steel cage match at Full Gear. It's too much plunder. This match may be better had suited for the 5-on-5 variety of the teams going head to head, maybe the old school traditional 5-on-5 match, and then maybe give the men War Games. Like I said, just because the men or just because the women have something, the other gender does not need it. It needs to be for a time when the story calls for it. And like I said, I don't have too much going into this. Like I said, Rhea and Io could be challenging for the tag titles. I think Rhea eventually could face Stephanie McCoy at Mania. Maybe they do Rhea and Io, the final two in the Rumble. That story is still there. Rhea has never beaten Io. So that could be used and put into play as well. Like I said, Lash Legend and Nia Jax, they wanted to do a tag team feud with Charlotte and Alexa. Could have been for the titles, but they took the titles off of Charlotte and Alexa when I feel like they were just starting to hit their stride. But that could be something on SmackDown. And like I said, there aren't many teams in general anyway. So the women's tag titles are already hanging by a string. I've been pitching for the Bellas to come back for years just to give it something that people may find a little bit of interest in, but maybe not. Maybe not. But it's only 4 matches. Like I said, these War Game matches are probably going to be close to an hour. These War Games matches are going to have all the plunder, all of the high spots. Will we get any blood? I don't know. Should we get some blood? Yes. But it's been 7 of these. This is the 8th one. It's not going to be anything we haven't seen before. I'm intrigued to see how they have it set up with the baseball stadium and the way that WWE is doing it. Now, I pitched the idea of having the teams maybe in the dugout, like a baseball game, like a baseball team. You have the heels and the babyface on each side, depending on where the ring is and where the crowd is. You can have the dugouts used, one to house one team, one to house the other. That way, everyone can still get their entrances, and we can go from there. But I think the baby faces win here. I think we still, like I said, we're going to get that Becky AJ Lee match. We're going to get Nia and maybe Lash eventually going after the tag titles. Charlotte and Alexa are there. Do they eventually split up? Is that the WrestleMania destination for each other? We know Jade is now the women's champion on SmackDown. We know she needs challengers. So Charlotte and Alexa, 2 prime baby faces she can run through if they want to do that. But I don't think they're going to do Bianca and Charlotte. I mean, not Bianca and Charlotte. They're not going to do Jade and Charlotte unless it's on a big stage. So probably a WrestleMania. Now, is that going to be the WrestleMania match? I don't know. I pitched Bianca Belair, but Bianca Belair, we don't know when she's returning. Maybe, like I said, by the Rumble, but we'll see. But I think the baby faces win here. I'm not too excited because we've seen it once, twice, 7 times. I think the story, like I said, was kind of thrown together last minute. They've tried to correct over the past few weeks. They've added a little bit of heat to it. Like I said, Becky and AJ were the right 2, but I would have rather seen Bailey and Lyra and then the Judgment Day of Roxanne and Raquel. That would have really smoothed it out and made it really, really more of something with a story and some history and something we really, really can sink our teeth into. But I get it. They did the Rhea and Charlotte thing. They did the AJ Lee coming back as a team captain. They did like I said, the Rhea and Charlotte thing was a pretty much a copy and paste of Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Not as good, not as well thought out, not as in depth. But Charlotte wasn't on the team. Then the next week she has a kendo stick and she looks at Rhea. And the next week on SmackDown they're talking backstage and then they're cool. I get it. So you got Charlotte, Rhea, AJ Lee, Alexa Bliss, Io Sky. If you were to make a name of all of the women in WWE, she's probably, these are probably 5 of the 10 more popular, well-known superstars that they have. So you got them. You could throw Becky in there. So 6 of maybe the top 10 superstars in wrestling when it comes to the women's division in WWE. So I do think that the babyface team wins here because I think what happens in the main event, I think that is very, very important because I think something that needs to happen on the show has to take place in the main event when it comes to the division and the babyface Avengers of the main event. But I'm going with the women of Team AJ Lee. I'm calling it Team AJ Lee, Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, Rhea, and Io. I think will all get the win here. And we're going to be winners because this week is Thanksgiving and we got Survivor Series this Saturday, 7 p.m., 6 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Pacific. It's War Games. You got War Games. I had to do it one time for the one time. I'm tired, but we're still rocking and rolling on to greatness. That's the job, and if you haven't already, go ahead and figure that thumbs up. Go ahead and access that bell. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on Survivor Series as a whole. War Games. You're excited for the match. Who is your prediction? Who is the MVP of the match? So we don't need Nia Jax in there for 40 minutes. AJ Lee isn't going to be in there probably long. She'll probably come in last, turn Becky. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm going with the babyface woman to win. We'll see where it goes from here. And we'll see you Survivor Series on Saturday, 7 p.m., 6 p.m., 4 p.m. Pacific, from Petco Park in Houston, San Diego. God's favorite host of the Flex Zone Podcast will be here. Your home for professional wrestling and giving you sports how you want it, when you need it. I'm signing off. Let me know how you feel about War Games. Do we need to get rid of it? Is it time to maybe put it on ice for a while like we did with Hell in a Cell? Is it time to maybe just give them a traditional, I don't know, 5-on-5 match? We'll see. A lot of ways they can go with it, but we'll see what happens. Stay tuned. We'll be here rocking and rolling as we always are. Peace.